Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live with Mel. Spring break is usually a time where kids can go and relax, have fun, and put the stress of having to deal with school to the side for 1 week. But this year, spring break has turned into something completely different. Now, we know that because of COVID-19, it has greatly limited the way that people can travel and interact. It has greatly limited the way the people can hang out with each other. And this year in Miami, many people flocked to Miami in order to celebrate spring break like they haven't been able to do for the past year. Many students are ready to let loose. Many students are ready to party. They have been told for an entire year that they have not been allowed to do the things that they love to do. And because of this, droves of students went to Miami this past week to celebrate their spring break. But even though many cities, many states are loosening the restrictions, we are still in a global pandemic. And many students flock to Miami because, number one, it's a party spot. And number two, Florida is open for business. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis stated that Florida is an oasis of freedom. He has called it an oasis of freedom. They do not have mask mandates in Florida, and Florida is pretty much open for business. And then going to the comments really quickly, off the hooks, they are there to party. It's chaos, cats and dogs living each other, people doing the Carlton, and among the lack of tans, my glasses are not dark enough. And then Sohaila says they do not care. And at the end of the day, they do not care. Many people have went to Florida to party it up, to live it up, to be in this, as the governor calls, this oasis of freedom. But because we are still in a global pandemic, because we are still in a situation where the virus is still easily spread to one another, Miami Beach has issued a declaration of emergency. Miami Beach is saying that they are fed up, and they have stated that they are going to issue this emergency declaration for another week, and it actually may go into April as well. Now, again, many students are going and they are trying to live their best life in Miami, Florida. They weren't allowed to party for over a year, and they are ready to party again. Now, officials in Miami are saying they're seeing this happen like it's never happened before. People in Miami are stating that it's not just college students who are coming to party, it's non-college students and college students alike. Because Florida is one of the few places where people can actually go and hang out and not wear masks, it looks as though Miami is the perfect place for people to go who want to forget what's going on in the globe, in the United States. They want to forget about the global pandemic. But unfortunately, the city of Miami is putting a stop to it, or they are trying to put a stop to it. Now, they have issued this declaration of emergency because people are going to Miami. There is no social distancing. There is no respect for others. And the crowds are growing completely rowdy. The crowds are breaking property. There was one video with one gentleman running from the check and waiters chasing him down. It's looking as though people are going to Miami and they are completely and utterly breaking loose. Now, the Miami officials are saying that this spring break is actually exceeding a typical year. So not just exceeding what they thought was going to come for COVID-19, but exceeding how many people actually come in a typical year. And one of the reasons for that is during spring break, people usually go to different places. We know that Cancun is a great spot for people to go for spring break. We know there are places around the country, around the globe, that people go in order to celebrate spring break. But because many of these places are closed down, because many of these places are still requiring people to social distance, requiring people to wear their masks, requiring people to eat outdoors, not indoors, we know that those are not desirable spots for people who just want to let loose and party. And because like the governor stated, Florida is the oasis of freedom and there's no restrictions. Florida has been the place that people are going to party it up. So going to the comments really quickly. So Hayla says they're living it up. Wade has the emojis of beer, bathing suits, and vomit. Joanna says it makes no sense. Wade says, sure, a couple 100,000 drunk kids and adults. Let's try and shut it down. Wait, I need to get some popcorn for this blank show. And then Joanna says, I read many colleges cancel spring break, hoping to keep students in place. I guess it's not working. And again, it's not working. And the reason why it's not working is because there is a place, like the governor called it, the Oasis of Freedom, where people can go and let loose. Florida created this perfect storm. Florida really created it. Florida is literally one of the only places in the country, besides Texas, but no one really goes to Texas for spring break. Florida is one of the only places in the country where they're not seeing the restrictions that everyone else has. Florida is pretty much open for business, and Florida has actually been open for business for a very long time. The same restrictions that were put in place for the rest of the country were not really put in place for Florida. And even though they do see spikes in COVID-19, they have decided to not put those restrictions in place. And because those restrictions are not being put in place, because those restrictions are not there, kids are seeing it as the place to go to do whatever they want. And while some kids may have went to spring break in Miami, Florida, since there are other regular places where they like to party and let loose are still closed for business or they're not fully open, people are flocking to Miami to party. But again, like I stated before, Miami has decided to push back. And because of this, over the weekend, many people were arrested. They issued a curfew, and the curfew is from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Now, while they issued this curfew, many people are not following this curfew. Many people don't even know this curfew is in effect. People are going out there. These kids are going out there. They're drunk. They're partying. They're not paying attention to others. They're acting as though this is spring break of years before. They're acting as though this is the spring break that they are used to. They're acting as though it is not spring break during a global pandemic. And while they come in and they party and they're being rowdy, they're going to go home eventually. And many people are afraid that since they're all together, thousands of people are together during a global pandemic. And remember, this is the age group who has not received the vaccine. Spring breakers are the age group where they are the last people in line to receive the vaccine. So they do not have the vaccine. They're not wearing masks. They're partying together. And they're very, very close. Many people are afraid that they're going to go back to their respective homes and bring more COVID-19 cases back with them. So let's see what Wade has to say. It's going to be interesting. So Wade says, banana hammocks, Hawaiian tropics, and margarita. Where's my Speedo? I'm on the way. So it looks like Wade is going to relive his youth and jump to Florida to go celebrate spring break. When you come back, Wade, stay in Virginia. Don't make your way over to the West Coast. So Joanna says, the University of California is offering students $75 as a staycation. And then Wade said $75 blank. That's only one burrito and a beer in California. Things are expensive in California. So I don't even know if that's going to get you a burrito and a beer. Maybe some fries and a Coors Light, not an IPA. But so guys, what are your thoughts about kids running to Miami to party and ignore everything that's going on? Again, there's now a curfew in place. And no one is allowed out on the streets from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. As we know, kids are not going to listen to a curfew, whether it's imposed by the city of Miami or by their parents. Kids tend to break their curfews. They don't want to stay in place and they don't really want to listen to authority, especially when authorities for the entire year, again, this has been the entire year, have told them they are not allowed to go out. They're not allowed to party and they have to follow these restrictions. So guys, let me know what you guys think in regards to everyone going out and partying it up in Miami. Now, the people who are greatly upset are the people who actually live in Miami. Because a lot of times when we talk about Miami, we do talk about people going on vacation. We talk about people who are living it up, maybe who have temporary residence in Miami where there's summer houses. But you have to remember that there are people who actually live and work in Miami. And they are actually very upset about what's happening to their cities. They want to remain safe, they want to remain secure, and they don't want to see thousands of drunk college kids take over their city during a time when they're in a global pandemic. Many businesses in Miami have actually closed their doors for the next several weeks in order to stop the spring breakers from coming in, being rowdy, and not acting as though there's a global pandemic. There are actually businesses, restaurants, bars, many places have closed their doors during spring break so they don't have to deal with people coming from out of town and coming in and causing a mess in Miami, Florida. So let's see. Wade says, have you lived in a college dorm? Yes, I have. Trust me, you're immune to everything for at least a year after college. Drunk kids, curfews, and ha 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 faces. Wade says, why are you not playing Will Smith's Miami in the background? Because in order to play that, I would have to pay Will Smith money. And that's not the budget for this set at the moment. Joanna says, well, let's see what happens in a few weeks. Hopefully the vaccine is working. And again, many people are saying they're hoping that the vaccine is working. And even though people are out there living their best life, I guess we can say, in Miami, Florida, the people who are in Miami currently, the people who flocked down to Miami, are not people who received the vaccine. And because of things like Miami, we may see a spike. And again, we'll see. We'll see in the next couple of weeks. I know Wade, we will talk about it in the Power Hour panel talk. We will see if there is a spike in the demographics that went to spring break. Again, spring break is the vacation of the youth. Spring break is a time that kids get together and have a good time. And while these young adults, I keep calling them kids, they're kids, but they are young adults. While the young adults are getting together and they're not thinking about consequences, the consequences may be dire for the rest of the country, but we'll see if there's a spike. So guys, what do you think? So let's go to Sohaila really quick. So Sohaila says, yep, we'll see in 2 weeks what happens. And we will. And again, like everyone is saying, the vaccine is out and there are people who are protected because of the vaccine. Whether you believe in the vaccine or whether you don't believe in the vaccine, we do know the vaccine has now populated a lot of people who were in a situation where they could easily catch COVID-19. However, we'll see if there's a spike in the younger demographics in 2 to 4 weeks because of these Miami spring breakers. Because the thing about people in Miami right now is none of them are from Miami. Everyone flocking to the beach are from somewhere else in the country. And we'll see what happens when they go back to their friends, their families, their college dorm rooms. And the other thing to realize is many of these people coming out for spring break are actually not college students. There are reports coming out that many of them are non-college students just going and trying to party because, again, like the college students, they have been told for an entire year that they are not allowed to go out and party and do the things they want to do. And on top of that, the stimulus checks did hit in the middle, right before spring break. So many people are going out and living it up with the money that they received from their stimulus check. And again, I don't judge people who know how they spend their stimulus check, but because the stimulus check did hit right before people went on spring break, it is allowing people to do more things that they probably would not have done if they didn't get the stimulus check. Yep, and that's exactly what Joanna just said. I guess we can blame the stimulus check. Where would they get the money to travel now? Wade says, my buddy got his vaccine. Now he's speaking like a Russian. His vodka was very good. That was my horrible. I was just reading what Ray wrote. I do not do accents well. Joanna says, Wade, shaking my head. No spike would also mean something interesting as well. And I think that's something that we can discuss and really examine in the next couple of weeks. If there is not a spike, it could possibly mean vaccines working, or possibly mean that maybe we're getting some kind of herd immunity. So we will see what happens in the next couple of weeks. It means excessive alcohol use, sunshine, and sand is the cure. I do not support these statements, Wade. So Sohaila says, I haven't received mine yet. So I think, Sohaila, you're talking about the stimulus check. Many people haven't received theirs yet, but again, the stimulus checks do come out in batches, so you'll be receiving yours soon. And if you are not receiving yours through direct deposit, it does take longer if you're receiving it by check or by debit card. No matter what we do, we know that people are going to be fed up of the restrictions that are placed in front of them because they've been restricted for an entire year. And while we agree or disagree, we're now watching flocks of young people go to what the governor of Florida is calling an oasis of freedom in order to party and live their best life. Now, while kids are going down there, while young adults are going down there and living their best life and not thinking about the consequences, we will see in the next coming weeks if their decision to go out there is going to cause consequences for the rest of the country. Spring breakers are vacationers who are young and want to party, but their vacationers are coming from all across the country. And because Florida is one of the only places that's open and desirable for spring break, it has become the perfect storm. It is the area that is a perfect storm for people to go in, spread COVID-19 while they're partying and not thinking about the consequences. Wade says, serious note, I think the next batch comes out on the 24th, and that's talking about the stimulus check. And then Wade says, yes, she was talking about the stimulus check. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Again, these young adults, they're going down there, they're being rowdy, they're partying, they're drunk, they are not social distancing, they're not wearing masks, and they are now being arrested in drills because they're not following the curfew as well. Miami, Florida, Miami Beach, South Beach, has issued a state of emergency. They have issued a curfew. They're trying to curb the rowdiness that is going on in Miami. And we will see what if they'll be successful in curbing all of this. However, we do know they're thinking about extending it well into April to cover all the spring breaks. So we'll see, and I'll continue to let you know about what's happening in Miami, and we'll talk about whether there'll be a spike in the next couple of weeks as well. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Live with Mel. I come live every single Monday through Thursday at 9:30 a.m. So go ahead, continue watching the show. And whether we agree or disagree, go ahead and write in and let me know how you feel. Your opinion matters. I'm going to continue to bring you the facts. I'm going to continue to bring you what's going around in the country. And I want to hear from you. I want to know what your opinions are. And again, we could agree, and that's great, or we can disagree, and that's great as well. We need to continue to have these conversations. So please write in. Let me know what you think about what's happening in Miami, Florida. Again, your opinion matters, and I can't wait to hear about what you have to say about the state of emergency in Miami, Florida, and spring breakers partying it up in Miami. So Wade says, I could be a reporter in Miami. Wade here at Miami. Miami Beach. I here to tell you this blank show looks like a bunch of leprechauns running through the tall grass to killing their balls. It's crazy. So I will see you. Maybe the Live with Mel will send Wade down to see what's actually happening in Miami, Florida, tickling their balls. And there's my grandmother. My grandmother tunes in every single day. So thanks for being so supportive, Grandma. I love you too. And then Joanna says, well, they opened their doors for spring breaks. They shouldn't be asking for no help. Well, it looks like they're trying to handle everything in-house. And again, Miami, the city of Miami and the state of Florida are different. The governor opened his doors. Miami is trying to close its doors to spring breakers. So we will see what happens. The battle between the mayor and the governor to see who will gain control of the spring breakers. So guys, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I cannot wait to hear what each of you guys think. Wade says, I have an idea for a green screen video now. We'll see what Wayne has, what he's cooking up Tuesday nights. So guys, thank you so much. I can only imagine. So guys, thank you so much. I will see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning again. This is Live with Mel, and I'll see you guys bright and early every single day this week to talk about other things. It's not just spring break in Miami, even though it looks like we're going to be talking a little bit more about spring break in Miami. Have a great day, guys, and I will see everyone bright and early tomorrow